Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about why you should never take your foot off the gas. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know that I have a free school community. It's a like-minded group of men where we hold each other accountable. We share ideas, we share our wins, we share our struggles, right? And I also have 2 free courses in there as it relates to your health and your finances. So if you guys are interested in that, or that sounds like something that's down your alley, click the link down below. But anyways, guys, never take your foot off the gas, right? So in life, it's easy to get a little bit of success, get a little bit of momentum, right? Do things for a certain period of time, be consistent, right? Take action, do all the right things, be an extremist, and then achieve the result, and then start to get bored, right? Because, you're making money or you're really killing it in the gym, right? You're working 12-hour days and you're going to the gym. You're working on your business. You're doing this thing 6 days a week, right? 7 days a week, and you get a little bit of it, success, right? You make some money, and you feel like, damn, you know what? I can take a break, right? I can quit this second job. I can stop working as hard. I can, take it easy for a bit, right? I've earned it. I've earned it. I've earned the right to take a break. I've earned the right to enjoy leisure. And here's the thing, right? I've heard a lot of stories of successful people who do that, right? Like there's a lot of people right now that I've watched on YouTube that, they'll tell stories of how they went hard for 3, 4, 5 years and they took a little break, and they explained how it turned into a very bad situation where they got into gambling or they got into partying too much, and maybe they lost some money in the process, right? And they started going down the wrong path, right? So one thing that you have to realize is that it's okay to take a break, but your duty, I'm really talking to men here, your duty as a man, right, is to perform, right? No matter what. Maybe not so much if you don't want to deal with women or you want to be like a spiritual guru or something. But if you're a guy and you want a family, or you want to attract women, or you want to experience a certain lifestyle, right? Whether that's financial freedom, or you want to travel or do something that's different, right, than the normal everyday human, right? You're not going to really be able to sit there and take a lot of time off, right? God can always make up for lost time, but when you take your foot off the gas, right, and you start to get comfortable, it's a lot harder to get back into the groove of things. It's a lot harder to get that momentum back when you try to start again, right? And you have to remember as well, we're not designed primarily, I don't think we're primarily designed to do nothing all day, right? There's some people that have this idea that human beings are supposed to become enlightened, right? And maybe it's true, right? And we're designed to do yoga and meditate and be by ourselves all day. And, like I said, that might be true, but in my own experience, I have not had the greatest time with that, right? A lot of my joy that when I think about my life, and just the things I've experienced the most joy and happiness when I'm doing things, right? When I'm out and about, when I'm working, when I'm creating YouTube content, when I'm at the gym, right? When I'm doing a few extra hours of Uber, right? When I'm working overtime, or I'm really killing it at my job, right? Whatever the case may be, when I'm doing something that, and I know this doesn't sound, what's the word? This doesn't sound virtuous or righteous or holy, right? But a lot of the joy I've experienced, to be honest, has been in the pursuit of material things, right? Has been in the pursuit of a nicer house, a better investment portfolio, a bigger YouTube channel, right? A bigger bank account, a great time with my girlfriend, right? So I'm just being honest with you guys. I think that men need to be pursuing materialistic things right early on in their lives, right? And we can't afford to sit there and take extreme bereavement periods where we're just taking time off because we are burnt out, or we feel tired, or we got a little bit of success and we feel like we can coast, right? One thing that you have to also consider is that when you take breaks, right, it's fine. But when you take extreme breaks, like, hey, like I'm gonna quit this second job and then I'm gonna have all this free time, you can start to do the wrong things in that free time, right? You can start to gamble, you can start to drink, you can start to binge pornography, binge video games, right? And the problem with that is that's not helping your levels of happiness, right? That's sedating you. That's making you less happy, right? Because you're screwing up your dopamine levels. You're hurting your quality of life experience, and you're hurting your ability to get back into the groove of things, right? Whether you pick up a second job or you start getting back into the gym or whatever it is, right? You hurt your ability to do that because your dopamine is not in check. So you're unable to have the motivation and have the future anticipated reward, right? So your brain doesn't really see an anticipated reward. That's what dopamine is there for. So you don't feel impelled to take any action, because it's like, hey, like, we're good, right? We just busted a nut. We just won 6 games in Call of Duty, right? We just ate a bunch of food. We don't need to do anything, right? You're tricking your brain and your body into thinking that you've survived for the day and everything's good, right? So I am of the opinion, right, that guys should be working 60, 70, 80 hours a week for years, right? Not just a year, not just 2 years, for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? A lot of guys that are really successful or have a lot of money, like, they've got to a point where it's not even really yeah, they have a lot of money, but I've heard them like really say that, like, a lot of my joy just comes from contributing, working, right? Like, I know it sounds so freaking weird, but we have this weird idea that work is supposed to be like hard and drudgerous and bad and not fun and to be avoided, right? Like, everyone creates a lifestyle, right? Everyone wants to create like the financial freedom lifestyle or the entrepreneur lifestyle, so we don't have to work per se, right? I think it's more so that we don't want forced work. But here's the thing, right? When you actually take the hard path, right? When you start to really grind your wheels and do the things that, as it pertains to work, like working long hours and, clocking into your second job after your first job and doing that on a consistent basis, or, coming home and creating YouTube videos, or working on a school, or working on an e-commerce business, or speaking with potential clients and closing sales, right? Or whatever it is, or working on diversifying your income, whatever combination of all those things, right? That is what gives men a point and purpose in life. That is what gives us joy, right? And I know it doesn't sound like it would give you joy, because it's like, damn, this hard work, like, this sucks, right? Like, going to the gym, lifting these heavy weights, like doing this deep study, right, into whatever field you're trying to learn or whatever field you're trying to master. It doesn't sound fun, but that's actually what gives us a sense of fulfillment, right? That's actually what gives us meaning and purpose, right? And that's what makes you happy, right? When you do those things, right? That's what actually gives you joy. Like, making this video, I'm pretty content. I'm pretty at ease right now making this video, right? Sharing these ideas, and because it gives me a sense that I'm contributing something to the world, and obviously I get a reward back, right? I get subscribers, I get likes, I get money off of ads, right? So, like I said, never take your foot off the gas. It really comes down to just doesn't come down to just making the money, right? Like that's what you would think. It's more about like it actually makes you happy. It actually gives you joy, right? And that's what we're all seeking, right? Because, like I said, I took a vacation a couple weeks ago, and doing nothing gets old, right? It's so boring. Like doing nothing gets old, right? Because yeah, I could have went to the casino, I could have went out to the club or whatever, right? Or I could have went out to the movies, I could have went to the mall, I could have went to the beach, right? But even those things get boring, right? Vacations, living a leisure lifestyle with no purpose and no work to do gets boring, right? Like, I know in the song, what song is it? By Big Sean, I forget what song it is, but he was like, screw a vacation, I feel better at work, right? And it's like, in a way, it's like, yeah, guys are really happiest when we're accomplishing things, when we're doing things in a group setting where we're accomplishing a goal. In a group setting or by yourself, when you're accomplishing a goal or when you're moving towards a goal, that's what gives you happiness, right? And it's not about achieving the goal, it's about the process, right? And getting in the process that actually gives you the joy, right? So we're all looking for a magic fix to happiness and to wealth and abundance and everything and joy, but it's really found in the process of you doing the actual thing, right? So never taking your foot off the gas, right, is paramount, especially, obviously for the reward, right? Like obviously you want a lot of money, you want the wealth, you want the income and the lifestyle, right? But when you get to one mountain, right, when you get past a certain level in life, right, that doesn't mean you're gonna become just all of a sudden just become happy and all of a sudden just become fulfilled, right? You're gonna eventually, maybe you'll take a vacation, maybe you take some time off, or you step back a little bit from the amount of work that you're putting in. But eventually you're gonna wanna get back to it, right? Like after a couple of days off from the gym, right, my body naturally just wants to go back and lift weights and walk and run and do the things and stretch, right? Because we're not put here to just sit, right? And we're not just put here to sit and meditate and relax and be just laying down and just hanging out all day, right? Like that's not what we're here to do, right? And that's not what's gonna make you happy. A lot of people think that a life of leisure and not doing anything and being just sedentary and being isolated is the way to happiness, right? And I think there's some truth to that, but I've just found, right, in my life so far as a 24-year-old, right, and I have a long way to go. So my thoughts and my opinions on this subject might change, but in my experience, I've had the most joy when I've been working the hardest, right? When I'm really putting in work, right? Whether it's in the gym, whether it's working 2 jobs, whether it's making these videos, whatever it is, that's when I find the most happiness. That's when I find the most joy, right? So never let your foot off the gas, right? When you feel like you are tired or burnt out, okay, take a couple days off, right? But I'm not gonna lie to you, a few years ago or 2 years ago when I quit or a year ago when I quit my second job, right? I was just tired, right? I was just exhausted, right? And that's not to say I was always exhausted, right? But there was a point where I was just working so much, right, that I really was like, damn, dude, this is like killing me now. But I was working like 90-hour weeks, so obviously I probably could have bumped it down to at least 60 or 70, right, which would have been a little bit more manageable, but I still enjoyed it, right? Like there was a lot of moments in that year that I was working 2 jobs that I had a lot of fun, right? I was socializing, I was talking to people, and that's the thing too, right? Like being in your house all day, you're not talking to anybody, right? You're not bouncing ideas around, right? So there's an emptiness that your brain feels, right? And you can't escape that, right? That hardwiring to socialize and at least just see another human being and speak to another human being, right? Or touch another human being is intrinsic in our nature, right? So denying that and just not realizing that that's something that needs to be in your life is really going to be detrimental to your joy and happiness and overall like mental health. So anyways, guys, I know I talked a lot about certain ideas and certain ways of living in this video, but all in all, like doing nothing gets boring, right? So taking your foot off the gas because you made a lot of money, right? Or because you feel like you can be financially free, right? You can celebrate. I'm not saying you don't celebrate. You don't, take breaks when you need to, but don't forget to just get back and step right back on that gas, right? Because like I said, I've experienced it where it's very hard to get back on the track of being an extremist, of being a super hard go-getter when you've taken a big break. So try to avoid big breaks. Don't avoid little breaks or don't avoid small celebrations, but don't sit there and be like, yeah, I can just coast now for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, right? I don't think that's really gonna hurt your momentum, right? So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.